Hello and welcome to Nationwide, reaching you from our studio here in Abuja. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed has commended Nigeria on the successes recorded in the attainment of Sustainable Development Goals, especially in the area of data. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
Data, they say, is the lifeblood of planning, and without which direction is impossible.
We have done more than 200 primary health care centers. We have also completed both 149, 120, and 100 bed hospitals. We have added more than 2,000 number of classrooms to all the 36 states of the Federation.
After listening to the presentation made by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs on its roadmap to the actualization of the Sustainable Development Goals in Nigeria, Amina Mohammed said the office has done remarkably well and the achievement needs to be amplified at the global level.
Deliver services, reduce poverty, social protection programs. It's a great way of communicating to Nigerians who it is that is missing and where they are. So that we don't look at resources to share amongst 36 states. We look at resources to invest in where the human development gaps are. When you do that, the nation rises together.
The homecoming of the second public servants in the world, Amina Mohammed, coincided with her 60th birthday. Amina Mohammed also visited the about-to-be-opened Discovery Museum, where she was conducted around the building, housing a synchronization of art, technology, and history from pre-colonial time to the modern day.
So she really got to experience that. We have exhibits, for example, the return of Nigerian artifacts that were stolen and are now in museums internationally. So we have an entire exhibit that is 3 rooms large that speaks to recovering those artifacts.
The Discovery Museum is Nigeria's first digital museum situated on the nation's Art Tech district. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, has flagged off the distribution of engagement letters and devices to 49 independent monitors under the National Social Investment Program held in Calabar, Cross River State capital. Achibong Bassi reports that the independent monitors are to supervise program beneficiaries within their locality using a standardized reporting tool, which would help measure the impact of the program.
Each independent monitor will be given a unique user ID and a password to gain access to the platform to enable the ministry and the state team determine if the independent monitors are collecting timely, complete, and correct data.
I feel delighted with federal government, most especially the president of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari.
Meet with those leaders, liaise with them, and know how to go to those different fields of area that we need to work.
Representing the minister, Director, Human Resource Management, Babatunde Jaji says, while the engagement of independent monitors is not new, but the ministry has methodically reviewed the modalities and design of previous engagements to build a more robust and proactive strategy to monitor the program.
The engagement of independent monitors for NSIP, therefore, is one of the strategies to ensure that this program achieved the desired results. because the sustainability of this program depends a lot on our ability at the field to ensure we deliver on the mandate.
To achieve the overall objective of the National Social Investment Program as introduced by President Muhammadu Buhari, the independent monitors are urged to show commitment and passion for the job, which is intended to give a new lease of life to the vulnerable in the society. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
The federal government's resolve to address ecological challenges and bring succor to affected communities is yielding results. This is evident in the inauguration and formal handover of Erosion Control and Road Improvement Project to Uyanga, a Kampa local government area in Cross River State, which the Minister of State Power, Godi Jedi Agba, says is one of the 23 ecological intervention projects approved by President Muhammadu Buhari. Justina Etam reports.
Oyanga, Ojo, Ifumkwa, Owai communities have vast forest reserve. The area is also known for the cultivation of farm produce ranging from plantain, banana, and more. But getting these crops to the larger markets has always been a Herculean task due to the devastating effects of erosion in the area. With this intervention project, members of the community say this has not only become a thing of the past, but the project will attract development to the communities.
It helps us because it is very easy now for us to take our agricultural resources outside to sell to the urban area. It's a thing of joy.
While inaugurating the project, Minister of State Power says the project underscores the federal government's efforts in tackling problems of its citizens.
Further intervention will come, but let us watch what we do with this one first. If you misuse this one, no other one, they will not be encouraged to bring more.
For the initiator of the project and former head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Oyoita, and the project's execution team, actualization of this project is in fulfillment of a promise made to the people.
It's the second of the projects which I put forward to the Ecological Funds Office. The first one was also successfully completed.
The main thing that we are into intervention, trying to come into situations where there are difficulties to ameliorate and help people to come out of troubled times.
The inauguration and handing over of the project will enable host communities achieve sustainability of the intervention work. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
The federal government has alerted the world that importation of all kinds of fertilizer has been banned and authorities are to go tough on smugglers. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Sabo Nanono, said his ministry is partnering with the Nigeria Customs Service to enforce the ban. Musa Baba Aliyu has more.
The Kebbi and Sokoto commands of the Nigeria Customs Service recently confiscated fertilizer from smugglers and handed over the products to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. Consequently, officials of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture are in the two states to distribute the fertilizer to farmers as directed by the President.
They are the real vulnerable rural poor farmers who we identify via our FMA database generated in the last couple of months. So we went to that and then look at, because of the numbers of bags that would be given to them, we make sure that we selected those that has less than 1 hectares of land.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Mohammed Sabo Nanono, represented at the distribution ceremony, said fertilizer inspectorates have been established and empowered in the 36 states of the country to confiscate, arrest, and prosecute any person found guilty of producing, marketing, or distributing fake and substandard fertilizer in any part of the country.
As part of this effort, President Muhammadu Buhari approved the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative to improve the blending capacity in the country and increase availability of fertilizer in composition that are suitable for the various soil types in Nigeria.
The fertilizer were distributed free of charge to smallholder farmers in the states. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
It's time now to join Adiola in our Lagos studios for latest reports from that axis. Hello, Adiola. It's over to you.
Thank you, Ayo. 49 persons caught with dangerous weapons have been arrested by the Nigerian police and paraded before newsmen in Lagos. Annie Daniels reports that it is in connection with the averted Yoruba Nation rally in Lagos.
The suspects, all adults, were arrested for flouting warnings by the Lagos State Police Command against embarking on the Yoruba Nation rally in Lagos. The Commissioner of Police, Hakeem Odumosu, noted that in spite of explanations given for discouraging the rally, the suspects came into the state not only for the rally, but to foment trouble and unleash mayhem on law-abiding citizens.
In as much as the police command respects and protects rights of every citizen in the state, it will not fold its arms to allow any group of persons or certain individuals to truncate the peace being enjoyed in Lagos State now.
These weapons, Odumosu says, is an indication that the suspects came fully prepared, adding that they intended creating unrest in 12 different locations of the state. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police reiterates the command's commitment to providing watertight security for every law-abiding citizen of the state, and wants all criminally minded elements to be prepared to face the music because there won't be a hiding place for them. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Coping with COVID-19 imposed new normal is a very challenging task that demands, among others, a mental shift which places premium on saving culture and investment for the future. This submission is one of the major talking points at a one-day seminar organized by the Naval Officers' Wives Association, NOAA, in Lagos. Adeniyi Taiwo completes the report.
Gathered in this hall are members of the Naval Officers' Wives Association, NOAA, and Naval Ratings Wives Association, NARAWA. The one-day seminar, organized as part of 2021 Navy Week, offers them an engaging platform to reflect on the task placed on their shoulders by the new normal, as well as what it takes to go beyond their traditional role as homemakers. Lectures dwelt on the need for prudent management of resources, setting of priorities, the culture of saving and investment, aided by thrift and cooperative societies.
Monitor your spending. Make a budget and draw up a financial plan that works for both of you and within your means. I will always lay emphasis on within your means. A prudent woman thinks ahead, rather than simply reacting emotional to her circumstances.
Noting that naval officers are adept at riding rough tide at seas, the national president of NOAA, Ajia Nana Aisha Gambo, represented by the national vice president, urged members to develop requisite skills at managing the changing tide in a fast-changing world.
She came up with this theme to help us to manage our home, manage our family, manage our jobs, our businesses, and still, live in harmony with our husbands so that they can serve the country, which is what they are doing as officers and men.
Even as we go to sit down in the neighbor's house to talk, let us discuss things that will impact us and not just shut away the time and waste time. Let's discuss things that will impact us, our families.
The one-day seminar held simultaneously across zones in the country. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the National Homegrown School Feeding Program are in Lagos to initiate a data gathering process for the Social Investment Program through an enumeration exercise. Musa Toliat reports that the exercise, slated to commence on Monday, 5th July, will be coordinated by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in collaboration with the Lagos State Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment.
Program, various initiatives have been introduced to effectively execute the program in line with federal government's objective of providing free nutritional feeding for primary school pupils across the country. The convergence of these stakeholders is aimed at embarking on an enumeration of beneficiaries and to explore possibilities of scaling up the program in Lagos.
If the community people take ownership, they will be able to report to the grievance desk, and such report will be forwarded to the appropriate quarters.
Challenges including the need to appoint a focal person to coordinate all national social investment programs in states, clamor for increase in the sum allotted for each child, and the need to replace old figures with latest data were discussed.
It's not only the people that are benefiting that should be enumerated. Even for the reason of scaling up, there may be need for other schools that are not included right now, which we really want to be part of the exercise.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, was represented at the stakeholders meeting.
As it is going on, you understand some challenges, maybe some stakeholders were not brought in. So it is an improvement, an added, a layer of transparency, of efficiency that is being brought to the program.
About 109 schools in Lagos are yet to benefit from the social intervention programs, and these raised additional concerns.
We've sent a list to the Abuja, because if the vendors are paid, they will actually take care of the children.
The National Bureau of Statistics and National Population Commission are bringing their expertise to bear to ensure data gathered are reliable and credible. In Lagos, Musa Toliab, NTA News.
You're still watching the news on the network service of the NTA. More stories will be coming from Makurdi with Susan after this first break. Please stay with us.
Our country can be as great as we want.
Let us all commit ourselves to its greatness.
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
In our expansive landmass, human and material resources, and plurality lies our strength.
Let our challenges lead us to rediscover our common ground, and together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time, so it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from every one of us.
Let all hands come on deck to protect and transform our country.
Let us unite and see each other not as adversaries, but as brothers and sisters.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and for the next generations.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with support from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest asset the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support, yes, by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
For joining us in Makurdi. The Assistant Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Zone H, Usman Al-Hassan Hariru, has assured Governor Samuel Otom of his determination to intensify security in Benue State. This was when he visited the governor at the Government House, Makurdi. Charles Abba reports.
The Assistant Commandant General, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Zone H, in charge of Benue, Nasarawa and Plateau states, Usman Al-Hassan Hariru, acknowledged the efforts of Governor Samuel Otom in sustaining the relative peace in the state in spite of the high tide of insecurity, and pledged to support the fight against criminality in the areas of his jurisdiction, including Benue State.
My primary constituency is Benue. I'm residing in Benue. My office is in Benue, so I should be able to contribute my quota to the peace in Benue.
Governor Samuel Otom, who commended the NSCDC for its continuous support in the maintenance of law and order in the state, noted that his administration is committed to working together with security formations and executing programs and policies for the good of the people.
On our part, we'll continue to support and work with you, and I believe that we shall achieve the peace and reconciliation that is desired.
He maintained that he would resist every activity that is detrimental to the people. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News. Charles Abba.
Curbing the ugly trends of human trafficking, banditry, kidnapping, and other forms of social vices requires the collaboration and commitment of the home and other components of the society. This was the thrust of the charge by Bishop Nathan Inyom at the third session of the 10th Synod of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, Diocese of Makurdi. Elias Itiav reports.
The Synod of the Anglican Communion Diocese of Makurdi is regarded as the highest policy-making body that convenes annually to deliberate on topical issues with the intent of charting a way forward for the development of the Church and the society in general. The Synod focuses on addressing societal ills such as human trafficking, which is described as modern slavery, banditry, and other forms of insecurity.
It is expected that all the delegates of the Synod actively participate in the Synod. If we do not give serious attention to little children, they will grow up to think that terrorism, criminality is a way of life.
The Zonal Commander, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIC, Mrs. Gloria Bai, attributed the rising incidence of human trafficking and other social vices to insecurity, conflicts, and disasters.
Human trafficking is modern-day slavery, and when the effect on the person, because this is not goods, these are human beings, is very traumatic.
By the time you get a child into the way of God, as he grows up, it is very, very difficult for such a child to deviate from it.
The next action is that those people you are seeing here, both pastors and the lay delegates, to take this message of the bishop down to the local churches.
With its theme, God of Providence and Help, the event seeks God's intervention in the present challenges confronting humanity and Nigerians in particular. In Makurdi, Elias Itiaf, NTA.
And that's our package from Makurdi. It's back to Ayodeji in Abuja for more on NTA Nationwide.
Thanks, Susan, in our Makurdi Network Center there. Zamfara State Police Command has arrested 45 persons in connection with the recent violent protests by some villagers along Gusau-Sokoto Highway. Suspects, along with some two post-primary school students who allegedly threatened to kidnap principal of a college and pupils, were paraded at the State Police Command headquarters, Gusau. Halar Muhammad Umar completes the reports.
Items recovered from the suspects, according to the police commissioner, were 1 locally fabricated gun, 37 motorcycles, 1 vehicle, and 6 jerrycans of petrol, which they intended to use in burning tires and other properties of innocent citizens.
45 suspects who refused to comply were arrested and brought to State CID for questioning. The suspects will soon appear in court for prosecution.
CP Hussein Rabiu also said a suspect by name Donatus AJ was arrested in connection with a case of threat to life of the principal of Dominican College in Gusau, a reverend sister, and students of the school. He said the suspect has confirmed committing the crime.
On interrogation, suspect was discovered to be an SS3 student of the school.
The police commissioner further disclosed the arrest of another suspect, Tukur Bashir, a student of Federal Government College Anka, for threatening to attack the school.
After he called on the principal of the school to drop 3 million naira somewhere for him, or else he will go and attack the students of the college.
CP Hussein Rabiu, who assured that the police, in collaboration with sister agencies, will not relent in the ongoing fight against criminal elements in Zamfara state, urged criminals to repent and embrace peace or leave the state, as they will not take it lightly with them. In Gusau, Halil Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
The business community is full of commendation for the federal government's efforts at improving security in the maritime domain via the various Nigerian Navy operations. The Chief of the Naval Staff, while receiving some prominent members of the business community in Abuja, said the success of the naval operations are critical to economic growth. Defense correspondent Nigerian Tijani reports.
An estimated 65% of crime comes from the maritime domain, specifically the Gulf of Guinea, with piracy remaining a threat in the area and Nigeria's economic exclusive zone, with records showing a spike in the last quarter of 2020. As these maritime crimes pose a potential threat to fishing communities on a local scale and the Africa Free Trade Agreement on a larger scale, reduction in maritime crimes in the first quarter of 2021 due to Nigerian Navy operations, as well as anticipated further reduction due to the Deep Blue project, are being hailed by the business community as a huge step in the right direction, with prominent members seeking collaboration.
Doing a great job protecting our territorial waters and also bringing peace to Nigeria. My main other point is the setting up of a permanent, naval protection base at our refinery. As you are aware, we are building the largest single refinery. Was 650,000 barrels per day, which means we can actually process 1/3 of Nigeria's production, and that's quite a lot of activities. And I think there is no way we can succeed in what we want to do without the help of the Navy.
The infrastructure for CONAI and the regional maritime awareness capability are all there. We maintain them, we upgrade them, and they are fully operational. And we are collaborating with other law enforcement agencies in making sure that all maritime offenders, through the intelligence provided by this architecture, are arrested and prosecuted as appropriate.
It is expected that such collaborations between the business community and the Nigerian Navy, along with other security agencies, will further encourage an enabling business environment on a global scale. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Ogun State government has called on the federal government to facilitate the release of a Nigerian citizen of Ogun State origin currently languishing in detention in Benin Republic. A statement by the chief press officer to the governor, Kunle Shomori, said a resident of Igbokofi village in Yewa North local government area, Kunle Gab, was abducted at the village market last week by Beninois police, who crossed into the Nigerian territory to carry out the daring act after scaring away traders and other Nigerians at the market. Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodun, who narrated the ordeal of Nigerians living in the border towns of the state and Benin Republic, told the federal government called for prompt action by relevant federal authorities to prevent further harassment of Nigerian citizens and encroachment on the Nigerian territorial borders. The governor also called on the National Boundary Commission to step up action to clearly demarcate Nigeria's international borders with Benin Republic, while calling on Nigeria's security agents to properly secure Nigerians in the border communities and our country's borders with the neighboring country. Families of slain police officers of the Imo State Police Command in the attacks by unknown gunmen in Imo State have been empowered with the sum of 5 million naira each. Governor Hope Uzodinma presented the checks to the families in Owerri during the maiden visit of the Inspector General of Police to the state. Bright Ibuchu has details.
For Elizabeth Joseph, Ifenyuwa Okore, and Agnes Anyanwu, 3 out of the 21 beneficiaries of the empowerment by the Imo State government, the vacuum created by the loss of their spouses in the attacks by unknown gunmen cannot be quantified. This cash gift of 5 million naira to each of the affected police officers' family is certainly a great source of consolation.
I just want to thank God for everything because God has been so faithful. Since the incident, God has been taking care of us.
I want to say thank you to Him, and I pray that God Almighty will console me and my family.
It will not be easy for me and my children, but I thank God today. I know that everything will be easy.
Governor Hope Uzodinma says the gesture is in appreciation of the sacrifice made by officers whose lives are always on the line in the course of their duty.
We will continue to appreciate these great efforts of yours in making sure that democracy succeeds in Nigeria by providing the necessary and enabling environment that will enable the protection of lives and property.
IGP Usman Alkali Baba, who witnessed the presentation of the checks, encourages officers of the Imo State Police Command not to relent, as their labor will always be rewarded.
I want to encourage you and support you to do your best and be courageous in the discharge of your duty.
The cash support is seen as one of the major steps being taken by the Imo State government to restore confidence in the officers who engage daily in securing the state. In Owerri, Bright Ibuchu, NTA News.
In another development, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested a Nigerian woman based in Brazil at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, with 100 pellets of cocaine concealed in a private part and handbag. In a statement, the mother of 3 was arrested on Friday night on arrival in Abuja via Qatar Air from Sao Paulo, Brazil, through Doha. Upon search, 12 wraps of cocaine inserted in a private part were extracted, with another 88 pellets stuffed in socks discovered hidden in her handbag, which she was asked to deliver for a fee of $3,000. In a related development, narcotic officers attached to a courier company in Lagos also intercepted 500 grams of ketamine concealed in the walls of a wooden box filled with bitter cola originated from Douala, Cameroon and heading to the United States, while another 500 grams of methamphetamine hidden in automobile parts going to Australia were also seized at the firm. NDLEA has also intercepted various kinds of other assorted illicit drugs in Plateau and Kwara states. Jenny, in our Port Harcourt Network Center, has the next set of reports on Nationwide. Hello, Jenny. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too, Ayo. Good evening and welcome. The Nigerian Navy has finally released a Swiss-flagged vessel MV San Pedro Pio. After 3 years, the vessel was detained in Nigerian waters for alleged maritime infractions. This followed the ratification of an MOU initiated by Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the then Vice President and current President of Switzerland, Guy Parmelin, to resolve the matter amicably. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
Pedro Pio was detained in the Nigerian waters. The vessel is now released by the Nigerian government following the conclusion of Memorandum of Understanding and Act of Court Settlement between the Nigerian government and the Swiss counterpart. The vessel was initially detained following what the Nigerian authorities called maritime infraction. The Nigerian Navy had intercepted the Swiss-flagged vessel in January 2018 for entering the nation's maritime domain without the requisite document for alleged gas transshipment. A legal battle was instituted by the Nigerian authorities against the Swiss-flagged vessel at the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt. This is just as the Swiss authorities initiated another legal action at the International Maritime Tribunal against Nigeria's detention of the Swiss vessel.
Professor Yemi Osinbajo and the Vice President, now President of Switzerland, Guy Parmelin, they met at the topmost level and gave a directive that both countries should seek amicable diplomatic settlement of this case. We are here to hand over a ship that has the flag of government of Switzerland officially to them, and I'm going to do the signing on behalf of the Nigerian government and Nigerian Navy.
The final ratification of the MOU with the Nigerian Navy representing the federal government and the captain of MV San Pedro Pio representing the Swiss authorities led to the final release of the vessel to navigate back to its country of origin. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Pursuant to the back-to-farm agricultural policy of the federal government, the Akwa Ibom state government has continued to distribute seedlings to farmers to boost food production and revenue of both farmers and government. Evelyn Badu Ekpo reports that this time, after initial flag-off of oil palm plantation, the state government has given out thousands of improved oil palm seedlings to farmers in Ikore-Ekpene axis of the state.
The Akwa Ibom state government is poised at revitalizing agriculture in the state and the country by living up to its expectations by consistently providing farmers with the needed farm inputs. This time around, the state government was at Itakudo Oil Palm Nursery, where about 50,000 oil palm seedlings were ready for distribution and planting. The farmers say they're encouraged with the state government's determination to bring back the traditional culture of planting massively to sustain their means of livelihood while promoting food security.
It's a way of promoting agriculture.
This is one of the greatest things the state government has done in terms of reviving the oil palm sector. I'm very much happy.
Female farmers, we are very happy. We are very proud of the governor for what he is doing.
Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Glory Edith, says revitalizing oil palm production for commercial purposes is one of the oldest methods of crop planting in Akwa Ibom, hence the motive behind this gesture. She encouraged old and new farmers to go into farming to reduce poverty in the society.
From the time he came into office in 2015, he told the whole world that before he leave office, that over 80% of what we consume will be produced in Akwa Ibom State. Our eyes have seen, and we can touch with our hands, that what he said, he has backed up with action.
The commissioner also embarked on an inspection tour of yam farm in the demonstration farm. From Itakudo, Ikore-Ekpene local government area, Evelyn Badu Ekpo, NTA News.
Nationwide will continue in Abuja after the break.
of our fathers.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Finally, Euro 2020 is here. Enjoy all the matches live on Star Times for only 1,700 naira monthly or 160 naira per day. Recharge now to enjoy all the matches. Watch Cristiano Ronaldo of Portugal, Mbappe of France, Lukaku of Belgium, and other top European football stars. No matter where you are, Star Times is here for you. You can enjoy all these matches on your mobile phone. Just download Star Times on app on your phone to watch all the matches for 1,000 naira monthly or 400 naira weekly. Recharge today with 1,700 naira monthly or 160 naira daily. That's right, you heard me. On Star Times, you can watch all the matches with monthly subscription of 1,700 naira or daily subscription of 160 naira. Terms and conditions apply. Star Times, enjoy digital life.
Glad you're still there. Nigerian youth in Akwa Ibom State have taken a position to rally round government policies that will change the fortune of the country for good. At an Epiphany Summit in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, the youth say they will no longer sit on the fence and allow unpatriotic politicians use them for their selfish interests. Clement Barikwi reports.
The youth are the leaders of tomorrow, according to a popular adage. But these Nigerian youth cannot sit and wait for tomorrow to come before taking leadership position. They believe their tomorrow actually begins today.
It is the youth that will decide the future of this country, and it begins today.
Let's see how we can change the way we do things. Let's see how we can change the way we look at things.
Young persons need to begin to see beyond what every other person can offer them and look into what they can offer the society.
Taking the country from where it is to where it should be, according to resource persons, demands collective effort, and the youth must be at the forefront.
None of these vices happening in any society without the active collaboration of the youth. I think the first thing is for the youth to be aware of their powers.
We are expected to, however, begin to gradually rebuild the minds of the youth to appreciate the critical role they have to play in the intervention of peace and harmony in every society.
Our youth are very resourceful, they are very, very dependable. It's because we don't give them direction so others mislead them.
Chairman on the occasion, Senator Effiong Bob, while commending the youth for the prevailing peace in Akwa Ibom State, advised them to up their game by pursuing education and skills that will make them relevant. With the theme, Changing the Narratives, the summit brought together youth leaders from the 31 local government areas in Akwa Ibom State. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
The International Day of Cooperatives is observed globally on the first Saturday of July every year. The 2021 celebration is presenting how solidarity and resilience is aiding recovery in the aftermath of COVID-19. Olusheye Adiagbo tells us more.
Cooperative societies have been acknowledged as associations and enterprises through which citizens can effectively improve their lives while contributing to the all-round socio-economic advancement of their community and nation. Its open membership model allows access to wealth creation and poverty elimination. With recognition of being a distinct platform in both national and international affairs, Cooperatives Day worldwide is being marked since 1923, but was officially proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly on the centenary of the International Cooperative Alliance, ICA, in 1995 as the International Day of Cooperatives.
Por eso, en este Día Internacional de las Cooperativas, hagamos oír nuestra voz. Mostremos con orgullo nuestra identidad.
On this day in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja, early shower will want to disrupt activities to mark the cooperative day, but members are still engaging to increase awareness and also promote the day's ideas of solidarity, economic efficiency, equity, and peace.
The message is to show the importance of the cooperative societies, how much they are helping our members across the MDAs.
Also referred to as Corps Day, the 2021 event is the second consecutive year that has been held amid the raging coronavirus pandemic, and the choice of the theme, Rebuild Better Together, many describe as apt to increase the level of cooperation and bettering the lots of people. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has announced 71 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. The latest figures released bring the total number of confirmed cases to 167,803 infections in the country. A breakdown of the new cases from 4 states indicates that Lagos recorded the highest number for the day with 63, Oyo 4 and Ogun states recording 3 cases. The day's tally is completed by Kano State recording 1 new case. With the latest development, 164,378 total cases have been successfully treated and discharged, while 2,121 patients have died, unfortunately. Do not intimidate members of the public with your position as an army officer. Rather, protect them and their property. Those were the words of Imam of the 63 Brigade, ASABA, Delta State, Major Zayano Ibrahim, at a special Juma prayer to mark 2021 Army Day celebration in Delta State. Rosemary Omani reports.
That is the special Juma prayer of the 63 Brigade ASABA Delta State to mark the 2021 Army Day celebration. The Imam said security of lives and property is a vital part of life, which is highly recognized by the Almighty Allah. This, he said, comes with great rewards, which also extends to family members. According to him, it is more honorable when young people passionately join the army to serve the nation, and not because they are unemployed.
When you even join the job, try and purify your heart. Don't join the job because of the salary or because of you don't have any job to join. You have been applying, you couldn't get any ministry that take you, they say, okay, let me just go for this. No, do it for the sake of Allah. You know their duties. They are trying to protect the lives and properties of people. So do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The special event, which held at the 63 Brigade Central Mosque, was graced by the Commander, 63 Brigade ASABA, Brigadier General Abdurrahman Idris. Prayers were offered for the well-being of the Nigerian Army, as well as for security, peace and stability for Delta State and Nigeria. In ASABA, I am Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
The introduction of Central Admissions Processing System, CAPS, to automate admissions process into tertiary institutions in the country by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, is one of the board's reforms to ensure efficiency and openness in the discharge of its mandate. Olayinka Ojo, in this report, takes a look at how CAPS works and the benefits in the admission process.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, in 2017, at a stakeholders meeting, announced a new method for admission for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, which is automated. This is through the Central Admission Processing System, CAPS. Since this system has been put into use, it has streamlined the admission process, address the challenges associated with manual approach, restore the autonomy of tertiary institutions with respect to admissions, made candidates the focus, and empowers them with information on available choices of institutions as well as programs. As a step-by-step admission process, part of the advantages of this system include expansion of candidates' admission opportunities and elimination of multiple admissions.
It's one of the innovations that has brought sanity, it has brought transparency, it has brought flexibility in the admission process.
Before the introduction of caps, investigation shows that some candidates seeking admission at times are exploited financially.
My elder brother, before he got admission, it was hard. After writing JAMB and all that, he had to pay for getting admission.
Today, all corrupt tendencies associated with admission processes in some tertiary institutions are no longer the order of the day.
My score was good enough. Some weeks later, I got admission. How? It's not something I paid for.
I just said, okay, just go online and check if your admission is in progress. I just logged in, and from admission in progress, it just changed to admitted.
This is because CAPS as a process ensures that candidates seeking admission are fairly treated. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
In a related development, recent reforms introduced by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, to a large extent eliminated errors in the registration process. This is the view by educationists in Enugu State. Chineye Nwoye reports.
I was thinking like they would change their syllabus in terms of the future, but the exam was very good and okay.
It's late, and then the team is being controlled, so the people at headquarters have a set time that they shut the thing off.
Those were the experiences of some candidates who sat for the Unified Tertiary Matriculations Examination organized nationwide by the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, to eliminate errors in the registration for the examinations and to curb exam malpractices. JAMB published new requirements and guidelines for all accredited computer-based test CBT centers. These requirements include that all CBT centers must ensure the use of dual screen for registration, which must be followed strictly to ensure that candidates sign out by doing a thumb print, ensuring data was uploaded. Other requirements include that UTME candidates were to create a profile code by sending their names and national identity numbers, NIN, to 55019.
The whole process, I would say, it's very okay, it's very fine. The students, they were well informed and well equipped for the exam. They came in time, good enough.
It's been smooth so far.
Okay.
At least hitch-free, no network issues and all that.
While commending the reforms by JAMB, some key players in Enugu suggested that the National Universities Commission should consider more of virtual learning and the use of digital devices in schools.
We talk about examination malpractice and the need to discourage that. We should stress more on the need to restore the reading culture.
Others were, however, of the view that after assessing the students through the examination, JAMB should also ensure that those who passed gain admissions into universities and other tertiary institutions. In Enugu, Chineye Nwoye, NTA News.
And up next is Sports Updates with Amanzi Marcos.
Nigeria's home-based Super Eagles are preparing to return home from the United States after their 4-0 defeat by Mexico in an international friendly. Atletico Madrid midfielder Hector Herrera opened scores in the second minute with another goal in the 52nd minute to earn a brace in Los Angeles. The Mexicans, who had earlier beaten Panama 3-0, are now fully motivated for the 16th CONCACAF Gold Cup tournament, which kicks off on July 10 in the U.S. In tennis, American teenager Coco Gauff has matched her dream Wimbledon debut as she again qualified for the fourth round with a 6-3, 6-3 defeat of Slovenia's Kaja Juvan, ranked 102. The 23rd seed is in her 7th Grand Slam tournament and reached her first major quarterfinal at Roland Garros last month. Meanwhile, 8-time Wimbledon champion and 20-time major winner Roger Federer labored to win 6-4, 6-4, 5-7, 6-4 against Cameron Norrie Nori in round 3. Defeat for Nori, the 29th seed, was a bitter pill for the British fans, as there will be no British player in the second week of the men's singles after the ouster of Andy Murray and Dan Evans. The International Olympic Committee has relaxed rules on athletes protesting at the Olympics, saying they will be able to express their views before and after competing, but cannot do so during events, victory ceremonies, and at the Olympic Village. This new development means athletes can take the knee before an event. Chairman of the Athletes Commission of the International Olympic Committee, Kirsty Coventry, revealed that any protest is not allowed to be disruptive, adding that the decision reflects the opinion of global athletes after extensive consultation. With sports update, Manzi Marcus, NTA News.
That's nationwide this Sunday on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Please remember to be a star, stand and connect with the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. On behalf of the entire production crew, good evening.